Come on, dig into that soul, Chris. Come on. Show the motherfuckers that you want shit. Find out. Show these motherfuckers that you get it. Get it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make them combinations fast. Come on. Trust in your speed, son. You got that killer instinct. You know what it takes to get it done.
4 minutes.
That's why it's easy training with him, because he trains so hard.
In terms of my training in my camp, I love combat. I love testing myself.
What's the word, Chris?
Did some cardio earlier.
No, Wednesday we got 12 rounds. 12 3-minute rounds.
Inside the training camp, the energy is electric as Chris Eubank Jr. sharpens his skills under the intense guidance of his legendary father, Chris Eubank Sr., with a highly anticipated Benn rematch approaching. The father-son duo is combining old-school grit with modern precision. Eubank Sr.'s trademark discipline and mental toughness are driving Jr.'s preparation, transforming this camp into a masterclass in legacy, redemption, and unfinished business.
This is my first full camp in Dubai. I've wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus and hone your skills in the fight world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Work the roll. Work the roll.
As the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn draws closer, the atmosphere in Eubank's training camp is nothing short of electric. Their first encounter at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in April 2025 ended with Eubank Jr. securing a hard-earned unanimous decision after a brutal 12-round war. Now, with unfinished business still burning between the two, every day in camp feels like preparation for a battle of pride, legacy, and redemption.
To get into this fight and find his range, but find his range he did. They just exchanged the rounds one by one. Eventually, Conor Benn looked like he was slowing down, but he found a second wind and managed to take it back to Chris Eubank Jr., particularly just with really aggressive punches. Chris Eubank Jr. working the body, Conor Benn trying to find that knockout punch. It was chaotic, a barrage from both fighters in those final few rounds, and so hard to call. On the fan scorecards, it was level, 114 to 114, and no one could separate these two. But you heard it there, Chris Eubank Jr. wins, and not only does that on unanimous decision, but does it to inflict Conor Benn's first ever. CompuBox numbers told the story. Eubank Jr. landed 367 of 912 punches, while Benn connected with 215 of 593. Despite being the older fighter and the one whose body had endured the harsher physical toll, Eubank Jr. pushed through and prevailed. But the victory came at a cost. The intense weight cut and dehydration became a major controversy. Eubank Jr. missed weight by 0.05 pounds, paid a fine, and was rushed to the hospital for precautionary treatment immediately after the fight. Now, heading into the rematch, Eubank Jr. stands as the favorite, determined not to leave the decision in the judges' hands. This time, he wants to put Conor Benn away convincingly. Meanwhile, his father, Chris Eubank Sr., remains both a proud mentor and a cautious voice. Though he has mended his personal relationship with his son, he continues to publicly question whether this rematch should happen under the same brutal weight conditions that nearly broke Eubank Jr. the first time.
He drained, they put a rehydration clause in. They fined him some 500,000 pounds for coming in, 2 ounces over the weight. It was reported to me by Lawrence Lustig, who is a very famous photographer. Junior wasn't even sweating at the end of the fight. Dehydration. These rules are in place to save my son, to save the lives of fighters. Unfortunately, the reporters, the journalists are not doing their job. they're not holding them to account. Gareth Davis, do your job. Simon Jordan, you speak on boxing, do your job. You are not credible if you let these things happen. What you are is a jester. As I said after the fight, Conor Benn is an extraordinary fighter. Fighting at 156 or fighting a fighter at 160, he doesn't get back down to 147. And if he does, he's not the fighter he could have been. They are dangerous, they are reckless. If the Boxing Board of Control don't do what they're supposed to do, which is to block fights from happening which do not abide by the weights and the rules, you are baboons. I'm not a baboon, and I know this life. I've gone up to cruiserweight, fighting Carl Thompson. Watch that fight. Both of them, where you're watching one man who is almost twice the size of me. So it seems, I say this sparingly, seemingly killing me. And it looks like a fight because a smaller guy, me, has heart. And nothing is going to stop me. No threat. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to put a picture up of my eye. It looked like my eye was pregnant, giving birth. That's these promoters pulling me into a fight that I need for the money. So I say, no, I'll do it. But the Boxing Board of Control is not supposed to allow that to happen. So now when I speak on it for my own son, people say, oh, well, you know, he's overreacting. I'm not overreacting.
Inside Chris Eubank Jr.'s training camp, the mood is laser-focused, serious, sharpened, and disciplined ahead of the rematch with Conor Benn. Over the past weeks, Eubank has dedicated himself to eliminating every flaw that emerged in their first encounter. He openly acknowledges that the previous victory was secured as much through grit, experience, and sheer willpower as it was through physical dominance. This time, he isn't looking to simply outlast Benn. He intends to rewrite the narrative with a clearer, more decisive performance and remove any doubt about who the superior fighter truly is.
About what that session involved and the benefits for him.
We call that the Xbox, 6 different stations, 3 coaches, you got 3 different obstacles to push you as far as your power shots, your speed, your slipping, your rhythm, your sprints, your endurance on throwing your power shots and stepping over. So we usually do that once a week to push the fighter, and then every week we go up.
Keep pushing. More. There you go. One more time. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, kid. Keep it up. Come on. Go. Come on, keep it up.
Eubank Jr. has set up camp in Dubai, stripping away distractions and throwing himself into brutal sparring sessions and conditioning work. He confirmed that his father, Chris Eubank Sr., will be ringside on fight night for support, but the guidance and control inside the gym belong to him alone. According to one of his sparring partners, Eubank has been pushing beyond standard limits, battling through 4-minute rounds with only 30-second breaks. It's a test not only of stamina, but of tactical sharpness under fatigue, designed to ensure that when the rematch turns into a war, Eubank's engine and composure will not fail him.
Full camp in Dubai. I've actually I wanted to train out here more consistently for a long time. It's the perfect environment. The gyms are amazing, the nutrition, the food, the sun. As long as you don't get distracted with all the distractions of Dubai, I think it's an amazing place to kind of focus.
Junior has also reunited with veteran coach Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, the same mastermind who helped Terrence Crawford reach undisputed status. The move is a clear message. Eubank Jr. isn't satisfied with simply repeating the first result. He's coming to dominate the sequel. McIntyre hasn't hidden his confidence either, bluntly stating he already got his number. Inside the gym, McIntyre has repeatedly praised Eubank Jr.'s attitude and work ethic, highlighting how hard he trains and how genuine his hunger to win is. The coach made it clear that, unlike previous camps where distractions or overconfidence played a role, this preparation is built on full commitment, total focus, and zero shortcuts.
We just keep grinding, to the next fighter.
Did you get to make it back over for the victory parade?
Yes,
or
definitely we had to come back for the parade. That was beautiful what the city did for Bud.
How was that? Yeah, because we've even seen other fights before where there's been a great turnout, but this looked like a whole new level, and so right, it should have been.
I can imagine probably close to 1 million people there. I would think, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Crawford's obviously enjoying some well-deserved time off, but has he spoken to you any more about what kind of next steps would be for him, what he wants?
No, not yet. We talked a little bit yesterday, but we didn't discuss anything about boxing. So we just making sure, I was checking with him, making sure the gym was going good, the kids was getting a good workout, and we're putting on another show for our up-and-coming fighters. So, you know, he's working on that, and while I'm working with Chris.
Working with Chris, exactly. You are back working with Chris Eubank Jr. You're with him for the rematch against Liam Smith. How did it come about, you coming back into camp with him for this one?
Well, while we was finishing up with Crawford, Chris's guys, they hit me up maybe a month out and asked me would I be, you know, interested. I told them, of course, right away, because you know, I felt like that me and Chris got a good repertoire together, got a good relationship, and we come out with good results.
The first fight didn't just pit two athletes against each other. It reignited a rivalry rooted in the legacy of their fathers from the early 1990s. The tension between Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn remains one of the most storied and emotionally charged rivalries in British boxing history. Their first clash in November 1990 was a high-stakes encounter that gripped the nation. Both men were in their physical prime. Eubank Sr., the undefeated and calculated technician, versus Benn, the ferocious puncher with a come-forward, seek-and-destroy style. The bout delivered on every expectation, with Eubank surviving Benn's early onslaught before stopping him in the 9th round to capture the WBO middleweight championship. Because of this history, the rivalry naturally carried over to the next generation. The clash between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. has been compared to the iconic 2008 showdown between Manny Pacquiao and Oscar de la Hoya. In that dream matchup, Pacquiao, then the WBC lightweight champion, jumped 2 weight classes to face de la Hoya, a 6th-division world champion. While many feared the size difference would be too much, Pacquiao's speed, precision, and relentlessness proved overwhelming, forcing de la Hoya's corner to stop the fight before the 9th round. Similarly, in the Benn versus Eubank Jr. matchup, Conor Benn, traditionally a welterweight, stepped up to challenge the naturally bigger middleweight, Chris Eubank Jr. despite the size and experience advantage favoring Eubank. Benn's performance shocked many, showcasing not only his power and chin, but also his refusal to back down against a physically superior opponent.
Put in the bag or Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar de la Hoya. Oscar de la Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar de la Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar de la Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubank Jr. is definitely.
Fraser Clark weighed in on the brutal clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, stating firmly that the right man won. He praised both fighters for their immense heart, discipline, and refusal to break under pressure. Clark emphasized how matches of this magnitude elevate British boxing, the kind of high-caliber wars that fuel national pride and leave a lasting mark on the sport. His reaction echoed the sentiment across the boxing community: respect for two warriors who left everything inside the ring. Despite his earlier objections to the fight, Chris Eubank Sr. stunned everyone by making a surprise appearance midway through the undercard, entering the stadium to support his son. The moment instantly electrified the 65,000-strong crowd as fans erupted in chants and excitement, sensing the emotional weight of his presence. Nigel Benn, father of Conor Benn, was also in attendance, and he publicly welcomed Eubank Sr.'s appearance, viewing it not as tension, but as a step toward healing between the two families whose rivalry spans more than 3 decades.
Eubank's here as well, sir. You turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, you know, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. I mean, it's a show, so suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I want to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
Chris Eubank Sr. has issued a fierce warning, insisting that his son, Chris Eubank Jr., was manipulated into signing a contract that prioritized profit over safety. According to Eubank Sr., promoters locked his son into a punishing 160-pound weight limit along with a tight rehydration clause, effectively ensuring that he would step into the ring in a dangerously weakened state. He argues that those conditions were never designed to protect a fighter's long-term health. They were crafted to create a high-risk spectacle that would drive ticket sales, build hype, and maximize streaming revenue.
But he lost. What couldn't he do at his proper weight, fighting a man of his size? Let me tell you what Junior did. He took away all the sweeties from everyone. They fined him, they blocked him on rehydration, they tricked him on weight. Once you're bringing him down to 160, he's 35 years old. He's a man, he's a big man. He'll do it because he's a warrior, but he shouldn't do it. But he's not going to listen to anyone. If he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to listen to anybody else. So the rematch is, Junior, you have everything, you're rich. You know, those promoters, they hate you because they can never get close to anything that you do. The analogy I will use, they're looking at you like you're a rocket, you've taken off, all the fuel burners and tanks have fallen back to Earth, and you are now in space. They don't have the oxygen to be in the world you live in. They would do anything to be able to live at that.
The weight dynamics between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn played a massive role in their April 26, 2025 clash at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Eubank Jr., a natural middleweight and former super middleweight, usually competes between 160 and 168 pounds. Benn, on the other hand, is a lifelong welterweight who typically fights at 147 pounds. For this showdown to happen, both men were forced outside their comfort zones. Benn moved up 2 full weight classes to face Eubank Jr. at the middleweight limit. Will make the matchup possible. A compromise was struck, a catch weight of 156 pounds, just 1 pound below the junior middleweight limit. The decision came with risks for both sides. Eubank Jr. had to cut far more weight than he normally does, raising serious questions about whether the strain would sap his strength, durability, and stamina on fight night. Meanwhile, Benn had to pack on muscle and size without losing the speed, explosiveness, and cardio that define his style. In the end, the weight limit became more than just a number on the scale. It was a strategic gamble for both fighters, and one that would shape the narrative of the rivalry moving forward.
Chris is even 70% of what he was. He's far too big for Benn. If he is really gone and shot, then yeah, he has a very good chance because, you know, he's the guy that can eat comfortably. You know, he doesn't have to drain himself down to make weight. You know, I look at it the same as I look at the, you know, obviously the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You know, a lot of people just don't understand. You know, one guy planned not to make weight and one guy was actually working hard to make the weight. It's not a fair fight. And that's without even talking about, you know, the accusations about the PEDs.
Oh mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that.
We know that your dad has had 2 very, very famous fights in the 90s with Chris Sr. You're, what, 3 or 4 weight divisions away from Chris Eubank Jr. at the moment, but you are 19 and you will continue to grow and you will continue to put weight on. What chance of you fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at some point in the future?
Oh mate, that'd be legendary. You know, that'd be legendary. I'd love that. I'd love that. You could, you know, but there's so many obstacles I got to get first before we can even consider that. So far, it's just a fantasy for the British public. You know, but who knows?
At the official weigh-in, Conor Benn hit the mark comfortably at 156.4 pounds. Chris Eubank Jr., however, struggled, initially stepping on the scale at 160.2 pounds, just over the limit. A second attempt brought him down to 160.05 pounds, still half an ounce too heavy. The result, a hefty £375,000 fine awarded to Benn. Eubank Jr. didn't hold back in expressing his frustrations, claiming that the terms of the bout were not just unfair, but outright unethical. He went so far as to argue that the fight, under these conditions, breaks the rules and implied that it should not proceed without adjustments. His objections underscore more than just professional concern. They reflected deep paternal instinct and an unshakable belief that no payday or spectacle is worth risking a fighter's health.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Time to jump in the sauna. Now the fun begins. For 8 pounds? You better watch out, dreadlocks. You better watch out, because we have come for you. Oh, sorry. It's my mother's tongue again. It comes through. You'd better watch out, because we're not playing. We're real, and we are a terror. And the procedure will be parliamentary.
Chris Eubank Jr. is pushing his limits like never before, training harder, smarter, and under the intense guidance of his father, Chris Eubank Sr., blending old-school discipline with modern precision. Do you think this father-son approach gives him the edge in the rematch against Conor Benn? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.